Why is this piece of audio recorded in 1969 worth literally millions of dollars? It's only 4 bars long, about 6 seconds, but it single-handedly created entire music genres. It's been sampled for over 40 years, and it completely changed the course of music as we know it today. This is the story of the Amen break and the origins of the art of sampling. It's August 11, 1973. We're at the Rec Room on 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx, New York. And a man by the name of DJ Kool Herc was about to host a party that would officially give birth to the genre of hip-hop. Kool Herc had figured out that the people dancing on the floor would sort of get bored during the songs, but would absolutely go crazy when the drum breaks came in. All the instruments dropped out, no vocals, and the drums would just solo for a few bars. So naturally, he started thinking about how he could extend those drum breaks and just make the parties more fun. He figured out that he could use 2 turntables and a mixer in the middle to sort of switch back and forth between records and keep that drum beat going, looping as long as he wanted to. He called this technique the merry-go-round.
I said, I'm going to try something new tonight. I'm going to call it the merry-go-round.
Of course, Kool Herc had a huge collection of drum breaks, but his 2 favorite ones were James Brown's Clap Your Hands, Stomp Your Feet and Bongo Rock by the Incredible Bongo Band. He hadn't quite realized that yet, but DJ Kool Herc on that night of August 11, 1973 had just pioneered 2 things: hip-hop and sampling. Between that night and the late 80s, tons of DJs and producers such as Grandmaster Flash, Grand Wizard Theodore, and Africa Bambaataa kept evolving and exploring the art of DJing and sampling on turntables and drum machines. Until eventually the first samplers started making their appearance on the market. Things like the SP12, the SP1200, and the infamous Akai MPC60. In reality, the idea of sampling wasn't exactly new. In fact, it was a concept that had been originally explored in the 1940s by a French composer named Pierre Schaeffer and his Musique concrete music. This avant-garde sort of experimental style of music would mainly consist of recording sounds to tape and then messing with them. Cutting the tape, cutting the tape, reversing the tape, playing the tape faster or slower, basically sampling but in the 40s. This is a story for a different video though. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so if I ever end up making it, you don't miss it. Anyway, what we care about right now for the purpose of our story is the modern samplers, the MPC style samplers like with the pads and stuff. Where in 1986, an underground hip-hop label by the name of Street Beat Records is trying to figure out how to make money and keep the business open. Throughout the first half of the 80s, bootleg drum break compilations were becoming more and more popular. DJs used to literally have to go through hundreds of records to just try and find a little 4-bar loop that they could use and play. So of course, some business-minded individuals decided there was an opportunity to make LPs with only drum breaks. This was definitely a pretty smart business move, but the legality of that, it's kinda blurry. Street Beat Records though wanted to do this legitimately and wanted to make a lot of money doing so. So they figured out some of the legalities, opened up a legit record label, and started putting out Ultimate Breaks and Beats. A series of 25 compilation albums edited by Breakbeat Lou Flores, including nothing but the best drum breaks of that time. Needless to say, these records sold tons amongst underground hip-hop producers and DJs. One in particular, called Ultimate Breaks and Beats Volume 1, included a track called Amen Brother. It was a random track at the very end of side A of the LP, but it would end up being the track that included the break that would change the world. The Amen break. The actual song that contained the break was called Amen Brother, and it was a pretty unsuccessful B-side song from a 1969 record by a band called the Winstons. It was the spring of 1969 in Atlanta, Georgia, and the Winstons entered the studio to record their new single, Color and Father. They already knew Color and Father was gonna be a big single, but they needed something to fill up the B-side, just something to follow up the single on the record. The singer of the Winstons, Richard Spencer, says, and I quote, "The guys were a little testy, they wanted leisure time, so I was kind of rushing it. In about 20 minutes, we had a playable song." He's referring to what would become Amen Brother, a funk R&B instrumental like gem track loosely based on an old gospel song called Amen Brother, which I actually find pretty funny and ironic because this song was actually already a sample of something that came before and it turned into a sample itself. I think there's an argument here to be made about the ethics of sampling and the fact that nothing is truly new. I mean, to me that's exactly what art is the shared common body of work that people before us put together, sort of entrusted to us in the present with the job of evolving it for the future. That's why I really don't understand, and it kind of makes me angry when people compare sampling to stealing or cheating. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, back to the Winstons. So, while the A-side of the record, Color and Father, became a 1969 top 10 R&B song and won a Grammy the following year, the B-side song, Amen Brother, went mostly unnoticed and became quickly forgotten. Or did it? Yes, well, it kinda did. It became pretty much forgotten until breakbeat Lou Flores, while editing the first volume of Ultimate Breaks and Beats for Street Beat Records, decided to include the song in the tracklist. So what was so special about this drum break and why did it get so popular? Well, my theory is that it's because it's extremely adaptable to a bunch of different situations. First of all, the instrumentation is super simple, just kick, snare, and cymbal. Also, it can be played in a bunch of different tempos and it always sounds great. Check this out.
Straight outta Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. Geek facts, stupid loser, find a rope to hang.
But then check this out, if I speed it up a whole bunch, now it's drum and bass. Alright, I've been talking about this drum break for way too long, let's cook something up with it. For this kind of beat, I want to keep it pretty old school, so let's go on Tracklib and find the sample. Let's see what we can find. I'm gonna go collections. Let's try spy themes. Whew. That's so good. So for anybody that doesn't know, Tracklib is basically an online record store with over 100,000 songs that you can sample, download, do whatever you want with. The really cool thing about Tracklib is that you can easily and affordably license any of the tracks that they have on their website, so if you put together a song and you want to release it, you just pay a little fee and you're good to use it. No legal repercussions, no headaches, none of that stuff. So shout out to Tracklib for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. Make sure to go check out the link at the top of the description for a 30-day free trial and 15 free downloads of anything you want on their website. Whew. I can already hear the whole beat. I think we found our sample. All right, let me chop it up a little bit. Whew. Alright, that's fire. We gotta beef up the drums. Let's go into my sample pack trilogy, RIP Speakers Volume 2, Snare 07. Hey! Woo. Dude, that's fire. I think I want to add one more hi-hat, something a little more modern. Alright, this is dope. I think we need an 808 now. Alright, that's it for this video. Don't forget to grab all the freebies in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.